Hi, guys. Welcome to the PHP. I'm Booker. That would be Perez Hilton. All excited today because, man, there's a lot of gossip.
I've got to breathe. Buckle up because it's going to be a wild one today. This might be my favorite podcast of the year. You know, last week it was Thanksgiving. We were coming off of that. It was a little slow, but there is just an overabundance of things to talk about today. We are going to get into all of the Tristan Thompson and Khloe Kardashian messiness, some Kim and Kanye drama as well. Chris Cuomo getting fired, Alec Baldwin's big interview, Meghan Markle setting us back. Have Lindsay Lohan and Perez Hilton really made peace? Aaron Carter fans harassing me. And a Demi Lovato health update. Yes, Aaron Carter still has fans. We'll get to that later. But first, I saw that you were hanging out with Avril Lavigne.
Yes. God, is she sweet. I've interviewed her on like a red carpet before. And she was kind of bratty. She was really young back then. I mean, really like in the height of
Avril mania.
Yeah, skater boy, like during that time. I mean, God, that was not for TV. So that must be like
early 2000s.
Yeah.
No, more than that.
It was even like more, right?
2001, I'm going to guess.
You're right.
2002.
Yeah. It's almost 20 years ago. And she came into the station and she couldn't have been more delightful. I mean, she was so sweet. She's working with Travis Barker. He's got a label. She signed to it. She's got this Bite Me song, which I like, but she played me the acoustic version, which comes out in like 2 weeks. It is phenomenal. It is so good.
It's like the original version. I talked about it on the podcast.
You did. I do recall.
I
don't hate it. I actually hadn't heard it when we talked about it, but the acoustic, wait till you hear it. It's like a completely different song. It almost has a different meaning to it when it's done slow down. But anyhow, she was super, super sweet and we hung out. It was cool.
What else have you been up to?
Home projects. I'm
boring. What else have you been up to?
Yeah. That's it.
I went to a holiday party last night.
You did?
I haven't talked about this anywhere. Oh my God. I went to a holiday party. This is like totally me. And this is a great story to share and end with because it's less than a minute. First of all, I showed up 3 hours late because I thought the party started at 7 and it actually started at 4.
Oops.
I was on East Coast time because I got it was from a Facebook invite. You know, like my friends are old, so they use Facebook invites to invite people to things.
Right.
So I showed up 3 hours late as like everybody was leaving, but at least I made an appearance.
Right.
And then second,
was everybody all drunk and stuff and they were already like done?
They're like old and professional gays, so they're not really sloppy.
Gotcha.
And it was on a Sunday, right? If it was a Monday, if it was a Saturday night party, ooh, child, that would have been, it would have been something else. Then I was leaving the party and I had not been to my friend's house in like 13 or 14 months. He lives in a gated community, in like a middle-class gated community. Those exist. So it's not like the really rich gated community, but whatever. He lives in a gated community. I thought that the gates to leave, they opened outward, but they opened inward and I was too close to the gates and it didn't stop and it hit my car. The gates hit my car.
Isn't there a sign on the gate that tells you that?
You think I was looking at the sign?
Of course not. Of course not.
I thought it would stop if it sensed a car and it did not stop. It fucking hit my car.
You would think that it would.
Yeah. Huh. Thankfully, it was very like there was no damage. It was like nothing. But then the gates would not close. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? The gates are not closing.
You're like knocking off its track or something?
I don't know. But I texted my friends. I'm like, your gate hit my car and now the gate won't close. And then I left. So it's on him.
That's goodness. Funny. Good story.
All right. Well, I should have taken some magic cereal with me because that would have been a great thing to have as the party was winding down. Everybody else was there enjoying like really unhealthy things. Yeah. And I actually, because I am super committed to being healthy, true story, I did not drink or eat anything at the holiday party last night. Nope.
Very nice.
God. I've said this before. To me, a pop culture podcast, which is what we are. We're not a gossip podcast.
Right.
A pop culture podcast means we need to talk about what is happening and what people are talking about. And we did that a little bit last week, but fuck. This just explosion of violent crime in Los Angeles has just continued to get worse and worse. After our show last week, there was that awful burglary in Beverly Hills where that old woman was murdered.
Yeah.
It's one thing to rob somebody, okay? But then to fucking murder them because you're going to steal their shit? What the fuck?
That derelict shot himself in the foot. Literally shot himself in the foot.
In another burglary. Thankfully, that person has been caught. But still, like, I'm legitimately... Like, I'm not living every day in fear, but it just, it's like a cloud hanging above.
It's concerning. It's to the point. It's concerning. It's, no one's safe now. It's crazy what's happening. It really is. And the criminals are running amok. No one is stopping them.
And that awful school shooting that happened in Michigan after our last podcast with those just awful parents. I don't want to linger on it because it's a bit of a bummer of a topic, but I will just say this. Personally, I was happy to see that these parents are facing charges, which is unusual in a school shooting. Do you think that more parents of school shooters should face charges?
If it's their guns, sure. You should be responsible for that weapon. You know?
Well, no, they bought the gun for their child, which he shouldn't have had.
Responsible for that weapon. It's
And then they were fucking on the run and hiding in the bottom of a basement, like fucking messes. They're fucking messes. Ugh. Anyways, got that out of the way. You guys, oh my God, stop it. I don't want to cry. I got a little bit sentimental when I saw the amount of people that said that our podcast was the most listened to podcast of theirs on Spotify. Like, I'm literally like having tears in my eye because, you know, we're not making crazy amounts of money doing this. We would like to. We believe in our show and we have not given up on it. But to know that, like, people aren't just listening to it, like we're their number one show. Like, I'm so silly. It really means so much to me.
No, and I'm glad you brought it up. I would have forgotten to mention that, and it's silly of me to have to forget about that. But
I made a note of it.
To see that on my feed and it just keep coming in.
I know.
And seeing the amount of shows that people have logged, when you look at people that have watched like or listened to like 400 some episodes, I'm like, that's insane, you know? So thank you. That was a very sweet thing. I'm glad Spotify did that. That was really cool to see. And it was touching. So thank you so much for listening and sharing. The sharing thing was just awesome.
Yes. Thank you so much. And thank you also to everybody that has bought some My True 10, my CBD gummies. Go to mytrue10.com if you want to.
He takes a wonderful moment. He takes a big dump on it.
Stop it, bitch. This is important to me. mytrue10.com. All right, let's get right to, although I fucking started crying. Thank you to everybody. And if you want me to promote you, if anybody tweets about it, I will retweet it. I've been so negligent on my Instagram DMs. Like, I have not even, honestly, I'm so busy. Like, I haven't checked my DMs on Instagram from people like in like over a month or two. So I got to get back on that. But I retweeted a bunch of people. And if people tagged Booker on Instagram and he shared it, then I shared those people because I saw him do it. So share us some more. All right. Okay. On to the whole Tristan Thompson and Khloe Kardashian drama. I understand that Tristan Thompson and Khloe Kardashian are going to be tied together forever. They have a child together. I get that. But what I do not get is the vitriol, the amount of hate that people on social media have been directing towards Khloe Kardashian for this latest Tristan Thompson news that he had another child with some woman that he cheated on while he was still with Khloe. Yeah, she made a bad decision by staying with him, but does that make her a bad person? Do you need to mock her and make her feel bad on purpose because of something he did? Make that make sense. Make that make sense.
That's the internet. There is no making sense to it, Perez. I think that's just, that's just a haha. You guys have a lot, and the trade-off for having a lot is you get to be our punching bag for our own miserable lives, and that's all that it is. It's it. Period. It's not real. It's not anything. It's just people like, haha, fuck you. You got money.
And I understand that some people still resent Khloe Kardashian for how she handled the whole Jordan drama, with Kylie's ex housemate and bestie, Jordan Woods, who kissed Tristan when she was still with him as well. But you know what? To revisit that for 20 seconds, that was Kylie's friend. It was her friend by association. She did not owe Jordan Woods loyalty or anything. Okay? So there's that. Specifically, let's get into the whole Tristan Thompson drama. He is a cheater. We know that. We all knew he was going to cheat again. Why? I mean, I guess I understand why. He didn't want to get a vasectomy in case Khloe wanted to have another child with him, but he could always have used a condom.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to.
Well, that's the thing. That's really the thing. Like, if you're going to go out and cheat.
Yeah.
Are you?
Because
I mean, I'm to think about the act of sex, right? And completion. Really? You're just going to go all the way through and just say, oh, well, I mean,
because not only could he, and he did get this woman pregnant, but he could have brought back some STDs home.
That's really the thing. Yeah. See, I didn't, because what's real and what's fake with this family?
No, this is real. There's a fucking baby.
No. I get that. Back to their relationship, Tristan and whatever case she is. Were they truly back together, or was he just a participant in his kid's life? And
well, with this one woman, they were back together because not the alleged, because Tristan has not what's the word? He's not denied paternity. The insemination, the night of conception, was on his birthday, his 30th birthday. And that same day, he was not with Khloe Kardashian, and she posted on Instagram this loving tribute to him. I don't think Khloe, and she publicly did not break up with him until after his birthday. I remember earlier this year, there was like some big Kardashian reunion on E! That Andy Cohen hosted. And at that point, she was still with him. Then like a week later, they broke up. And we didn't really know why. It was also around the time that he was spotted going into some hotel in Los Angeles with these girls, yada, yada, yada. But if we do the math and just go with it, yes, Khloe was still with Tristan the night he conceived his third child with his third baby mama now. He hasn't married any of them. And there are also some discrepancies because this woman claims that it wasn't, and I'll get to her in a second. The woman is a personal trainer, an alleged friend of his.
Of course she is.
Yeah.
I always hear personal trainer and I'm like, sure you are. Please. But lifting dick is what you were lifting.
She claims that it was not just an isolated incident, that they had a months-long affair. Or relationship. He might, listen, boo, don't play stupid with us. She might claim that, he told me that he and Khloe broke up. Bullshit, bitch. Okay? Bullshit. Don't fucking go there. We all know that damn Khloe had taken him back and they were not broken up. All right. You did that knowingly, and I think she wanted to get pregnant, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And then smartly, she got her ass out of Texas where she lived and she moved to Los Angeles, which is where she filed the paternity, the case in court, because here she stands to make a lot more money monthly than in Texas.
By the way, good for her. I love it.
Good for her.
I love that she's that savvy. That just says, you know what? I'm on the money train now. I got the money baby in here.
Yep. Because and he's savvy as well, or he must have consulted his lawyers, because in communicating with her after he found out that she was pregnant, he explicitly relayed to her, how disgusting is this? Is it disgusting? I don't know. I actually appreciate his honesty. He said, I want nothing to do with this child. I'm not going to have any involvement with this child, and I'm going to pay the bare minimum. And I'm going to offer you hush money. He offered her $75,000 to get an abortion and not say anything. And she decided not to take that. And he even said, you're going to get more from me in these 75K than I would be forced to pay you in court, because in Texas, allegedly, according to Tristan Thompson, you only have to pay child support depending on how much you earn, not how much you have saved in the bank. And he's retiring at the end of this season, so he's going to be unemployed.
Well, he'll still earn money on the millions that even if he makes 10% a year, that's still a lot of money. So his math is already full of shit as it goes, unless he doesn't have any cash, which he has to.
He was trying to gaslight her and manipulate her,
scare her into taking the loot.
But she didn't, and now she's here. And actually, congratulations. She just gave birth.
She did.
She just gave birth, yes. Khloe Kardashian said that she wanted her daughter True to have siblings. Well, now she's got 2 siblings. She should have probably been more specific, saying she wanted her daughter to have siblings that were her children as well. So there's that messiness. How do I want to talk about Kim and Kanye? I'll say it this way. I am not claiming they're bad parents. I will just say that Kim and Kanye parent differently than I do and have different priorities as parents.
That's fair. What happened?
Kim and Kanye are still friendly. They're on speaking terms, and they even reunited recently. A few days ago, they went as a family, the 2 of them and their daughter North. They left LA and they went and met up in Miami to attend a service for their late friend Virgil Abloh, the designer. They took their 8-year-old daughter out of school to go to that.
Okay.
I'm old school.
I don't have a problem with that. If it's a family friend, and no, if it's you're mourning somebody that your family was tight with, what's the big deal? The kid's 8. I mean, it's not like you're in the middle of quantum physics at 8. Okay. I mean, I said, you missed a nap or 2 and playtime. I mean, come on, who cares?
8 is 3rd grade. My son is her age, so they're learning a lot in 3rd grade. I don't know. I just don't think it sets a good example to the kid and to the school that you're going to take them out for an unnecessary event. Okay. They went to a fashion show. They went to a fashion show in honor of that Virgil Abloh. Like, you could have paid tribute to him yourselves and not taking your 8-year-old daughter, or they could have done something else. I don't know. Taking
your kids somewhere with you as a family for a family thing. And granted, their family things are a lot different than our family things. I mean, this is their family kind of gathering. They're in a different tax bracket than all of us. This doesn't even sort of stink to me. It's okay. Right. Not terrible.
I am that parent. I expect my children to have perfect attendance unless they're sick. and then they can't go. And even if they were sick back pre-COVID times, I would send my kids to school sick unless they had a fever. Then of course not. But if they had a cold, you're going to fucking school.
Yeah. I had the same parenting. You're going to school.
Yeah,
You're just going.
And not just because it's important. Like, you know, I want to instill in them a great work ethic and not like, oh, I'm going to take you out of school to go to Disneyland or some shit like that. Some parents do that.
They do. You're right. I guess I agree with that part of what you're saying, because, you know, with me, my last job, I was there for 11, 12 years. I didn't take one sick day, you know. I could count in my career how many sick days I've taken. And I always tell my bosses or anybody that I work with, if I'm sick, you better send somebody to check on me, because I'm not sick that often. It just doesn't happen for me. I just tough it out. But you're right. It's a new day now, though. You know what I mean? With COVID, and sick means something completely different. But,
oh God, yeah. No, like my kids, if you start coughing too much, they'll send you home.
Yeah. It's a different day.
Speaking of Kim Kardashian, she and Pete Davidson are still together.
No kidding.
Yeah. And she's getting close with his sister and the family. She's like in there like swimwear. And she was even spotted out by the paparazzi with like a makeover. She got the Pete Davidson makeover. She was wearing this like these checkered Vans. She wasn't wearing her Yeezy sneakers anymore. Oh, buddy.
Pete Davidson makeover.
So I actually sat down and watched the entire Alec Baldwin interview, not because I wanted to, but because I got booked on British television to talk about it. So I was like, oh, fuck, I should really watch the whole thing.
I need to be prepared.
Because you know how we do. I'm prepared. Yeah. I'm a professional.
No, you need to be for that. You do. You need to know. You got to be able to read him, what you thought.
So I'm going to assume you did not watch the whole thing.
I didn't watch the whole thing. Just like anyone else, I saw the people giving the clips from the interview, and I got to see him speak. And, you know, he's an actor. He's very charismatic and believable, you know? So I felt that I could feel the remorse, and I felt the pain, and just from the clips. So I don't know what the whole thing played like.
You said you felt remorse. Well, okay, I guess remorse is a good word, but he was specifically asked if he felt guilty, and he said no.
No, yeah.
He didn't.
But I bought that. Didn't you buy that or not? Because his whole explanation of this gun just going off and he didn't even pull a trigger. I buy. I just buy.
All right. Well, before I watched the interview, I didn't get it. I'm like, why is he doing this? Like, I am certain his lawyers, and he has more than one, I'm sure. I'm certain they advised him against it, but he did it anyways. And I could put my head in his place. I think the reason he did it is because he's felt so misunderstood, right? And when you feel like the world does not understand you, you just want to be heard. You just want to be understood. And then afterwards, it's like this weight is lifted off his shoulders. It's like, all right, people may not believe me, but they heard it from me. And I've been keeping this in for so long. And let's take a step back. At the end of the day, this is why he will not face any criminal charges.
I never thought that he would.
Yeah. He is not responsible as an actor for gun safety. Right. There is a team, another person that is their sole job.
There's protocol. There's everything. Yeah.
Yes. So I think now that I watched the whole thing, it was smart of him to have done it. And also, perhaps the smartest or best thing that he did was to detail exactly his roles and responsibilities, his function as producer on that movie. Because I was like, oh, wow, he's a producer on it. It's more than just an actor. Like he's going to be liable, and he will be liable in a civil suit. But he won't face criminal charges. But he specified that as producer, he only worked on two functions. One, he consulted on the script, and he even, I think, did the story for the script. And two, he consulted and approved with casting. So I believe him, because this is what happens with a lot of A-list actors. They'll get a producer credit for doing nothing. It's just another way for them to get more money.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not like they're really producing the movie.
Exactly.
They're not.
I mean, there's a lot of people with shows and actors that are on episodes of things. You're like, that's kind of a big actor to be on such of a rinky-dink television show. Then you watch the end, you see producing credits, writing credits, and I, I don't know. It's an ego thing, typically, I think,
No,
because
it's not an
once,
ego thing. It's
well,
just
I
a way
mean,
to
once
make more
you,
money.
I know, but once you have so much money, like it doesn't matter. That's what I thought.
Well, it's because they want to get points, right? Like they're still getting their flat fee, but like this was a low budget movie, but every once in a while, a low budget movie makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
You want your points just in case,
True. Right. Yeah.
Anyways, let's keep it moving. Meghan Markle is setting us back. And by us, I mean the media. Like, I'm so thankful on the daily to live in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Doing what I do for so long now, I am acutely aware of the differences in the law in the UK versus in the United States. Mm-hmm. There are so many laws that make it harder to be a journalist or even an everyday person sharing their opinion in the United Kingdom.
Really?
Yeah. We in the US are so blessed with our truly freedom of speech. Mm-hmm. That does not give you carte blanche to do and say anything, especially because on social media, they have their own laws, but the laws are different in the UK. And she just won this lawsuit against the Daily Mail parent company, which has been ongoing. But why I think that's bullshit is it didn't even go to court. It wasn't even litigated. She won on like some, I don't know the technical term for it, but the judge tossed it out before it even had its due process. Mm-hmm. So the parent company of the Mail on Sunday, the Daily Mail, associated newspapers are planning to appeal this. They think they're most likely going to appeal it and even take it to the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom. And, let me break it down for everybody really quickly. This is not, she thinks she's going to change things. She's not going to change anything. Okay. Because this lawsuit was over her father giving the private letter that she sent him and they published it.
Right.
Listen, UK media, I'm going to tell you your workaround going forward to avoid lawsuits in the future. Mm-hmm. Next time you want to do something like this, what the media is going to do is the father or whomever will post it on their private Instagram or their private Facebook, which has a lot of people following them, but it's not public, or maybe it is public. And after publishing it on their private Facebook or Instagram with 20 followers, then they'll print it in the newspaper. And what you're gonna have to sue Instagram or Facebook, not because the dad or whomever published it on Instagram or Facebook. Mm-hmm. So she released this statement all gloating and shit, and I'm like, it's just anti-freedom of speech, like, and just anti-first everything, First Amendment, first, just like, you gave your dad, you should have sued your father. And she won. And I just think it's because the royals are in bed with the legal system in the UK and it's lame. Speaking of freedom of speech and the legal system and the media and all of that, CNN anchor Chris Cuomo was fired over the weekend, not just because of his role in his brother's scandal earlier this year, where he was accused by several people of inappropriate touching and inappropriate jokes.
Well, he's Italian after all.
I'm not making excuses for it. He's older.
I'm goofing on his excuses for the record.
I know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's older, and that does not excuse his behavior. And, you don't ever want to make people feel uncomfortable, and he did. And he resigned as governor of New York. And it came to light over the last few days how involved Chris Cuomo was in getting information on his brother's accusers and helping craft messaging and help his brother's, not campaign because he was governor, but his brother's
defense, if you will.
Yeah, his brother's team. Yeah, his brother's team. But the reason Chris Cuomo was terminated was because of everything. It wasn't just because of that. Yeah. It was because, he's had headaches for CNN in the past. He's done things in the past. There was even like that. There was like a violent incident earlier or last year. Remember that? Like he screamed at somebody or like something COVID related. I don't remember the details, but he's just done a lot of things that have accumulated. And the last straw was a couple of days ago, this woman came forward and made sexual misconduct allegations against Chris Cuomo. So that was, the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back. And I understand CNN's reasoning. If it was just his role in helping his brother, I would have disagreed with that. Because family first, man. Jobs will come and jobs will go, but family is forever. And that bond is special. And you know what? He even said earlier this year or last year, he wanted to quit.
Yeah. On the air. I mean, he's had it. And you knew this bomb was ticking and you knew that the days were numbered anyhow. And I think CNN just put their hands up in the air and said, you know what? We've had enough. Like this is such a distraction. And it makes the point that Trump always brought up even clearer, that it's a circus. Well, that it's just sort of a zoo and it's fake news and it's this and it's that. Because I think CNN has gotten really away from the news and they've really just been one of these channels that's, got an opinion on everything. They become pundits on everything. And it's like, that's not the news. That's your opinion.
That's all the news. That's all cable news.
And that's all everyone's doing now. Right. And it's become a channel of the left and there's a channel of the right and blah, blah. And it's, to be honest with you, I did what I always say that I do. Turn it off. I'm not mad at any of it. I don't say, hey, this should be taken off the air. I'm tired of this opinion TV. I just go, nope.
All right. Brittany Spears. First of all, she's somewhere in the world. I don't really know where. I haven't been keeping that close of tabs on her. I think she might be in Hawaii because that's her favorite place. She just turned 40 years old. Happy birthday, Brittany. However, nothing to do with her. Everything to do with TMZ. Let me literally read to you verbatim a headline that ran on TMZ. It read, Brittany Spears stops at gas station, uses bathroom.
That's it?
That was the headline on TMZ. First of all, that's just fucking stupid and lazy. If you're going to tell me that, at least tell me if she went to piss or poo. Okay. At least that's better journalism. But is it necessary to do an article about Brittany fucking shitting or urinating in the public restroom at a gas station?
I did see the story. And I think the point of it is, look, stars are just like us. And they go to the public.
That's the stupidest story.
Listen, I know it is stupid. But when I read it, I thought, really? Brittany's going to the rest stop bathroom? That's what everybody does, I guess. But I don't know. It shocked me. But you're right. It's a goofy headline.
That did not shock you. That did not shock you.
It does shock me that Brittany goes to the rest stop.
Come on.
I mean, I'm not like blown away. Like, you just think that Brittany would go somewhere nicer. That's all.
When you have to go, you have to go.
You're right. You're right. God knows where they are. You could be on some interstate somewhere. I've got to go.
I've shit myself in the past when I had to go and I couldn't find a place. You've shit yourself too. Don't lie.
I don't think I ever have.
You've never shit yourself?
I don't think so. I don't think I have.
I have more than once. I think maybe it's like something it runs in my family, perhaps. Like when we have to go, we have to go. Maybe because you're not like as much of an eater as I am.
And I tell you what, I've lived with you for some time. And, when you go, you're like, just run off and you go. Like you're very quick. You're in and out too.
Oh yeah.
You're like a woman. Like me, I like to sit down, take my time. Cal's like, where you been for a half an hour? I was like in the bathroom. I like to get away from the world in there. You're like in and out.
All right, let's keep it moving from Brittany Spears to another musician. Can I even call him a musician? God bless him. Aaron Carter.
Mm,
I don't even really care. Like, this is just so bizarre to me. It's like sort of similar to the Free Britney movement, but not really. Like, Aaron Carter literally spends his entire day live streaming on Instagram. Like, if anybody watching or listening right now goes and searches Aaron Carter on Instagram, he's probably live and streaming, unless it's early in the morning, and then he's probably still asleep, but there is this community of people that just waste so much of their time watching his live stream and analyzing everything he does. And now there's a child involved. He had a child recently, calling CPS on him and his baby mama. And I get that. But like, also, the authorities are aware of Aaron Carter, where he lives in Lancaster. Okay. I'm sure that every once in a while, they're keeping tabs on his streams as well and making sure that nothing inappropriate is happening with the child and all of this stuff. And like, his fans kept harassing me, wanting me to write an article about him. And I'm like, they sent me all these clips. I wasted all this time yesterday watching all these fucking clips. And like, the best way to sum it up, I saw nothing illegal. There was no criminality. There's nothing to report.
Yeah.
There's nothing to report. They're just like sucked in and invested in this drama. And it's like, get a life.
Yeah.
Get a life.
Yeah. Who are these people? Like, I get it. Like, everything's arbitrary. It really is if you think about it, but who cares? Like, what, what's the whole, like, why? It's just, it doesn't make sense.
I don't know. It's like,
whatever.
And I understand, like, I don't want anything bad to happen to that child. I mean, and also they're enabling him. They think they're not, but they are. They're only helping him. They're only making things worse.
Are you saying that Aaron Carter fans are probably not that smart? Because that's what I'm hearing.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Although they wouldn't call themselves fans. Okay. They're not his fans. And I'm going to end it.
They're fans. If they're on a fucking stream watching him do anything, they're obsessive fans. All of them. Anyone that's wasted a second of their life on that is an obsessed fan.
I'm going to end with this thing.
Okay.
All you obsessive people with too much time on your hands, I'm trying to be very polite and tactful. I hope and I pray and I ask that you not tag his brother. Leave Nick Carter out of this. Like, don't tag him on Twitter. Don't tag him on Instagram about Aaron Carter. Leave Nick Carter the fuck alone.
Well,
okay.
Listen, you're as big of a lunatic because you're talking to them. Fuck those people. Don't even tell them what to do.
All right.
Like they're gonna listen to you now and go, Perez told me that we should stop doing that. Now you've just lit a match for them to go do it. I mean, come on, you're enabling the stupid.
Have some decency. And
there's no decency on the internet, dude. It's a bunch of douchebags.
All right, let's keep it moving. Speaking of Aaron Carter, you may not remember, but I do. He used to date Lindsay Lohan back in the day. Lindsay Lohan got engaged recently. We talked about that. And this warmed my heart. On her podcast, Perez Hilton recently congratulated Lindsay Lohan. And that's really meaningful because they have been major frenemies for decades. Like frenemies is the perfect word because, they would talk so much smack about each other. And recently, Perez was on Watch What Happens Live in May of 2019, and she was talking smack about Lindsay on that show. So, she just congratulated her. She also didn't take it a step further and apologized. She didn't apologize for all the shit talk, but she at least extended an olive branch. And listen, I don't expect perfection, but I appreciate the growth, and it's a step in the positive direction.
Right.
So good on them. All right, we're going to get to, oh, actually, I forgot. A quick update on Lindsay's mother, Dina Lohan, has been.
She's still around? Wow.
Yeah, she's about to do some jail time.
No way.
Yeah.
Damn.
Dina Lohan has been sentenced to 18 days in jail and 5 years probation for pleading guilty to drunk driving.
Wow.
If you are a drunk driver, you're a fucking asshole and a fucking moron.
You don't know what you're doing. You're drunk.
Yeah. There's just
you try to make sense out of it. You're drunk. No wonder you go and do dumb things. You're drunk. So
in an era with Lyft and Uber, in this new day and age, there is no excuse for drunk driving. There was no excuse back then either. You could have just sat your ass down somewhere and waited to sober up. Okay.
Once again, you're drunk. You don't know any better.
Well, I know better.
Well,
I know better.
Perez knows everything. Thank you, Mr. Moral Compass.
I know better than to drive. You're a drunk driver.
I feel what you're saying. I'm just making the point that, you're drunk. You don't make the best decisions when you're drunk. Tristan Thompson, take it back to the beginning of the show. Had a feeling he was probably hammered on his 30th birthday and, laid some pipe that night.
More than just that night. All right. An update on Demi Lovato. We spoke on the podcast earlier this year about the UFO singer's California sobriety lifestyle. Demi claimed that Demi was embracing, I'm just going to start saying they, them, fuck it. Even though it always irks me, it's so, I'm like, I'm being respectful. Demi goes by they, them pronouns. So Demi said that they were California sober, meaning Demi would only drink or smoke weed. And Demi used to have alcohol problems. Okay. It wasn't just hardcore drugs, but Demi just took to Instagram story to say, quote, "I no longer support my California sober ways. Sober is the only way to be."
There you go.
After Demi had previously come out as California sober, a lot of people, like including Elton John, had criticized them for that.
As did I.
Yes. And I'm going to read between the lines and assume.
Hold on one second. Hold on. My thing stopped recording.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm going to read between the lines and assume that what may have prompted this public proclamation from Demi was a relapse, an unpleasant episode or series of them, but happy that Demi has found their way back to sober. Speaking of celebrities and their health, Wendy Williams, we spoke about her last week. After that, the paparazzi caught up with her in Miami. She was walking, so she's clearly not wheelchair bound. She was leaving a wellness center, though, and left it barefoot. That's just gross. That's one of my triggers. It triggers me.
Maybe she just had her toenails done.
They have special slippers for that.
Do they?
And even if her feet were swollen, okay, let's say her feet are swollen, she could have bought ginormous Crocs. It's just not good. It's just
maybe she just likes being barefoot. I love being barefoot. I never wear shoes.
I'm barefoot at home, but not when I'm going out and about on the streets and like at places.
That's true.
That's just icky. I'm sorry. No. All right. Also an update. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I remember specifically last week when we spoke about the smash and grabs happening here in Los Angeles, you suggested that security guards at these establishments should shoot people stealing, right?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't being that serious about it.
Oh,
but
you weren't.
I think we need to up our security game for sure. And I think if there are trained, armed, professional, licensed, vetted maybe ex-police that are doing it or off-duty police officers doing it. Yes, at some point, I think that, this society is out of control.
Okay. Do you think, let's get into it, because this is what happened recently. In Arizona, a police officer who was still a police officer was working a special assignment at a Walmart, I believe. And then this 61-year-old veteran in a wheelchair started stealing from it. And the police officer shot the guy for shoplifting.
Wow.
A 61-year-old veteran in a wheelchair. And the police officer shot him 9 times.
Damn.
And he died. Do you approve of that action?
I wasn't there, and I'm not really sure what happened and why he felt the need to shoot someone 9 times. That seems a bit excessive to me. That's the hole in the problem of this, that, you get people that are a little too trigger happy. Once again, I like last week, start tasing people. Like, you can't steal stuff, or the police aren't going to respond. They're going to be like, someone's stealing a crowbar or whatever. They're just going to let it go. You could have a picture of somebody and give it to the police, and they're going to be like, what are we supposed to do with this? Go find them? They're not going to. I just think that at some point that protecting your property or protecting your business or whatever you own, there has to be an acceptable level to that. Now, I don't know if it's, going all willy-nilly, but like I said, if there's somebody trained and vetted and, has a clue how to operate what they're supposed to be doing and understands the law, then that's what I'm for more of. That's what I'm for.
I bet you, like, the big, maybe in Mexico, the Louis Vuitton store you mentioned or whatever, where they have an armed guard. I bet you high-end retailers in the United States don't want to hire armed guards and tell them to shoot somebody, because then you're putting your other employees at risk. Yeah,
no, the whole thing sucks. But all I'm saying is, at some point, we've got to reel this in. We're everything's unraveling. This whole idea is unraveling this country. It's unraveling. And if people can't see that, I don't want to get into it. I'll just start yapping. It's the erosion of the middle class. That's what's happening.
Let's keep it moving. All right. This actor, Anthony Ramos, he was the star of the In the Heights movie. He also is very well known for Hamilton. Hamilton fans are like a hardcore group of groupies. They love Hamilton. So he's well known. He'd been engaged to this woman for a while, Jasmine Cephas, but she just dumped him after he was outed going to a strip club and making out with some other girl. But here's what I find juicy or interesting. A stripper at the strip club took video of him with that other girl when she recognized him and posted that on social media. Doesn't that break hoe code? Isn't there like a hoe code? And should she be fired from the strip club for doing that? I think she should definitely be fired from the strip club for doing that.
Yeah.
There should be.
The rule is no video in a strip club to protect the people that are working there. They do that behind closed doors, and that's how they choose to make their money. But anything that's recorded in there should be some places that are private. And that's, I think, one of them. I think you have rights when you're in there. And I think he has rights when he was in there. And I think the other girl has rights when you're in there. Yeah, I agree with you.
So that was wild. Also wild. Now I'm just rattling these off. There was a woman caught breastfeeding a cat on an airplane.
Wait a minute, what?
Yeah, a woman was kicked off an airplane because she started breastfeeding her cat and refused to stop.
So the cat was on her breast.
Yes. I don't know why. I'm going to guess mental health issues, but also wacky news. Dr. Oz quit his daytime talk show because he wants to run for Senate in Pennsylvania. He's running as a Republican. And now all those people that have been making big fat paychecks on the Dr. Oz show, they're going to allegedly they're going to try to find a way to keep the show going, but you can't have the Dr. Oz show without the Dr. Oz there, right? That's like doing
Hey, they have the Wendy Williams show and Wendy Williams isn't there. So, you know what I mean?
That can't keep up forever, I don't think, like
until he loses and then he can come right back.
Oh, that's true. Maybe he won't lose though. He's running as a Republican and they like to elect famous people. Also, Kyle Rittenhouse, who was recently found not guilty in that trial that he stood in Wisconsin. He's been attending online classes at Arizona State University. And when other students at Arizona State University found that he's taking virtual courses, they got all butthurt about that and want him no longer to be able to attend online classes at Arizona State University. Listen, I don't like Kyle Rittenhouse. I think he should have been found guilty, but he was found not guilty. Okay. That's the law. And I don't think they should discriminate against him from getting a higher education.
This very sensitive generation that, know, if they can't have it their way, they start bitching and pouting and making noise. It's like they just can't mind their own business and not worry about it. It doesn't pertain to them. Who cares? Let it go. Everybody, it's nauseating.
All right, let's end things with some music news and positive things, and then we'll take some calls. This was really nice to see. Camila Cabello was supporting her ex-boyfriend, Shawn Mendes. He released a new song called It'll Be Okay, and she shared it on her Instagram story. Oh, Unfortunately, the song is painfully boring. It's not bad. It's just so average, uneventful, boring, basic, bland, beyond vanilla. Like, I would have rather something be a shit pile, like, of steaming garbage, than at least like, wow, he tried. That was something. But like, just boring is so boring. Oh, I'm sorry. Also, Joshua Bassett, who's one of the stars of Disney's High School Musical, the musical on Disney Plus, he also dated Olivia Rodrigo. He released a new song about their relationship called Crisis. And actually, that's a great song.
Really?
I actually predict it's going to be a hit.
No kidding.
It's going to be a hit song.
I don't know who that is, but I'll take a listen.
Nobody knew Olivia Rodrigo before Driver's License either.
I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about him.
Well, like, I'm just saying, nobody knew her before that song either.
Well, everyone had to start from nowhere.
He's her ex-boyfriend and co-star because she's still on that Disney Channel show.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought she was off that noise now.
No, she's still on that show, even though she's she's the biggest thing in music and she's still on the show. A contract is the contract. But yeah, check out his song Crisis. It's really good. And finally, congratulations to Adele. Her album 30 is #1 for a second week. And while I expected more from the first week, the second week really came through. She did the second week 288,000 units. Of those, 225,000 in pure sales.
Wow, actual copies, huh?
Yeah, that's huge for a second week in pure sales. 225,000.
Wonder how much of that was vinyl. Can you break? I wonder if they break that down. I'm sure they do somewhere.
Yeah, they do, but I don't have it. 30 marks the biggest second week for a female album since Beyonce's Lemonade. Adele's 30 surpasses Folklore by Taylor Swift and becomes the fastest album to cross 1 million units in the United States this decade. And she also announced after our show last week that she's going to be doing a Vegas residency. Weekends with Adele at Caesars. I have to go.
I've heard the tickets are like going for like $4,000 a ticket.
I think that's bullshit. I don't think that's true.
You
That's on
think
the
that's just a
resale.
story?
That's on the resale market.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. If you can get them, if you could buy them, if you're one of the lucky that can snap them up that way, sure. I'm sure they're a respectable $500 per ticket.
I don't even think they've gone on sale yet.
No, I don't think they have.
So it's like, how can you even resell something that hasn't gone on sale?
Well, I think they probably have they have a deal with the whomever that releases tickets that they get a certain amount of tickets. It's a whole fucking Ponzi pyramid scheme, dude.
It's a scam.
It is. It all is. It's bullshit. It's loaded against the true fans. It always is.
All right, let's take some calls.
Hi, this is Jessica calling from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I had to call in regarding Kim Kardashian and Kanye West and how Kanye West is freaking delusional that they're not getting divorced. And I have to say, Booker, normally I enjoy your banter and sometimes I side with you, but this time it's freaking annoying. Okay? Kim Kardashian's moving on, whether that relationship with Pete Davidson's fake or not. She's over the marriage. Kanye himself said he wanted his family to move to Wyoming. Kim said she didn't. You're out here calling Perez and all these things when
I'm not calling anybody anything. What am I saying? And by the way, who cares? He wants to move. I mean, it's, people are treating Kanye West, and we could play some of these other calls because this call came in more than once.
Pause. Because you're a marriage expert, I think is what a lot of people were also getting at.
I'm not a marriage anything expert. I'm not married. I mean, I would be the last person that's an expert. I just make the point that, people are looking at Kanye and throwing, what has Kanye done? He's not a criminal. He's a citizen. He's a businessman. So what? He ran for president. I mean,
it goes back to what I said about Khloe Kardashian and people saying the similar thing to her,
I don't know. I hear a lot of, people are like, he's mentally ill. And I'm like, so she should leave him because of that? Is he a danger? I mean, listen, I'll get to some of these calls. I mean, it's people say this stuff. Listen, my opinion is just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. And I'm fine that you in Pittsburgh disagree with me. By the way, how about our Steelers kicking the shit out of the Ravens this weekend? Oh my God, that made my day yesterday. But listen, it's cool. If you disagree with me, fine. But I just think that this whole going person to person to person to person is a bad message for family and for marriage altogether. Maybe I'm an old fuddy-duddy in that way, but I just think that I think of this bouncing to person to person to person to person through marriage while having children is probably not the best environment to bring a family up during. That's my point of view. You can agree with me. You could disagree with me. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. That's the norm for a lot of people now. And
yeah, I mean, I get it that people can split up, but I don't know. That's my point of view. I gave my point of view. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you.
Hey guys, this is Rosetta from Chicago. I just wanted to comment on what was said earlier today in the show about the thefts that have been occurring throughout the country at the luxury stores. And I agree with Booker when it comes to having security in front of these stores like they do in the foreign countries. The security in front of the store is actually armed. There is a line for you to go in, but when you have a group of people, 12 to 14 people that are storming in the store and grabbing as many products as they can, there's not much the security guard can do. They cannot shoot anybody. There are associates in the store. There are shoppers. There are shoppers outside of the stores. And so it's completely chaotic. And I was just at a mall a couple weeks ago near Chicago when this happened, and there's absolutely nothing the security guard can do, even though he had a gun on him, because it can cause a lot more harm to shoot.
Yeah, I mean, you could accidentally shoot somebody else. It's not optimal. That's what the second part of our conversation, I said, well, then tase these people. Like we've got to start trying something if this problem consistently ramps up. And poor Chicago, you want to talk about a city that's just taking a beating. I mean, my brother lives there.
Or
and
maybe
it's a mess.
Actually, I had a great idea. Somebody should develop the company. Oh my God, this is Chad, the idea person.
I got a better idea, but go ahead.
No.
I got one. I'm telling you.
I got the best idea.
I'm going to trumpet.
The company that develops a low-cost way of making microchips that you can put on things to track them, that company will be worth billions of dollars. Like if it just costs a company 5 cents to put a little microchip on something and you can see where that's
So you think a cop's going to go out and chase somebody that stole a hammer? They're not.
Well, if it's a repeat offender, if you see like all this stuff in somebody's house, I don't know.
I was thinking maybe they have zones in the floor, and whenever something goes wrong, they send electric to that zone of the floor and it electrocutes the shit out of people. How about that?
I think I like my idea better.
I think my idea is kind of cool. All right, another call.
Hi, Perez. Hey, Chris. This is Carrie from Utah, coming about the Christina versus Brittany thing. They did show Christina kissing Madonna. Chris is right. You are wrong, Perez, because I remember that.
No,
but
they
made a bigger
didn't.
deal about it because Brittany Spears was still like the girl next door, versus Christina being like dirty and being nasty. So it wasn't that big of a deal to see her kiss. Sorry, I'm a little nervous talking too fast. But anyways, that's my input. Bye.
I'm going to watch it right now.
No, we're going to end the show right now. Then you're going to watch it. You can tell me about it next week. I assume that this girl is right because she probably went to watch it so she could know what she was talking about. But I do recall it myself. But like I said, I was there. So maybe in my mind, I have the visual of actually, being 10 rows back watching it. You still searching? I'm telling you, she went from one to the other. I know I've seen that clip before.
All right. I don't know where it is in the performance, but take another call.
Okay. You're taking another call? All right.
Where the hell was it?
I don't know.
It's coming
up. More
up.
call.
Hi, I'm just calling, addressing this specifically to Booker. Normally, I agree with almost everything that you say, but I found you to be particularly annoying this episode.
You're welcome.
Anyway, in regards to Kim and Kanye, I noticed you said one thing, that once kids are introduced, you need to take marriage a little more seriously, quote unquote. Granted, we don't see everything that goes on in people's lives. We don't know everything. We do see a lot of what goes on because Kanye, and because of his mental disorder, which he has spoken about publicly, which is bipolar disorder, when he reacts the way that he reacts, I believe Kim is putting her children first. She really tried to hold on to that marriage. There was a lot of stuff.
Stop. Pause the call. I just watched.
Stop it.
You did not see the Christina kiss. I just watched it. Yep, I was right. I just watched it. You saw the end. You saw Madonna pulling away, but you didn't see her going in for the kiss and kissing her. Like I said, I fucking know my shit. I just watched the clip. Okay, I just watched it.
I don't care either way.
Well,
do you want to address
right.
this call or not?
I was right. I just had to prove that I know.
And as I said, I don't know or care. I was just there. So I just assumed everybody saw what I saw on TV.
No. Well, I was right, caller.
Yeah,
all right.
Kanye's mental health.
What am I wasn't listening.
She was talking about Kanye had mental health and this and that. I guess my point is, so you should just divorce someone because they have mental health. Like you didn't go into this knowing that Kanye had mental health issues. It's not like they developed overnight. Okay.
Okay. But what if you're married to somebody and you love them and you support them and they have mental health issues and their doctors tell them they really need medication. And if that person refuses to take medication,
right,
then what?
Right. And there's a lot of ifs and thens and buts and whatever, but this girl doesn't know them either. And
Kanye has said that he refuses to take medication.
Well, he said he has refused and he said that in his latest Christmas, I'm doing good, but talking about myself rant. He did talk about that. But once again, I don't believe anything he says. I don't believe anything she says. I think it's all a TV show, and I think it all is bullshit. That's what I think. And at the end of the day, there's still little kids involved, and I still go back to what I said about Kanye. This guy's never done anything wrong. I've never heard of him being a bad dad.
He cheated on her repeatedly.
Who? Kanye did?
Yes.
According to who?
According to Kanye, he admitted to it.
Whatever. And by the way, I'm not even saying that you, and by the way, stop for a second. I'm not even saying they shouldn't get divorced. Maybe they should. I'm just making an overall general statement about this whole just willy-nilly bouncing to person to person to person. I don't know. It just seems a little odd if if you have children, but do you, boo? I don't give a shit either way. I don't.
Right.
Let's wrap it up, baby.
All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate you all so much. Mean it. We will be back next week. Give us a lot of calls because we're not going to take a week off, but we were going to do one calls episode of Just Calls.
Oh, yeah. Start thinking of some good calls, some good questions. If you want to go in on something, or if you got a favorite moment from the year or anything that you want to share about the show, just let it go. If it's good, we'll put it on.
Yeah. 800. We need your calls is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So make sure you don't delete all the calls so that we have calls for the calls episode. 800-721-1185. That's 800-721-1185. You can watch the podcast on my @Perez Hilton YouTube channel, or you can listen at PerezPodcast.com. Share it with your friends. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya.